Just moments ago, the death toll climbing to 105 cases across the United States. 6 people have died, all in Washington state, 4 of them residents of a nursing care facility near Seattle. Tonight, more firefighters in that area have been put into quarantine after responding to coronavirus calls at the facility. We'll go there live in just a moment. At the White House, President Trump defending the administration's response. Vice President Mike Pence, in the first of what he says will be daily briefings from his coronavirus task force, called this an all-hands-on-deck effort. We begin our special coverage. CNN's Nick Watt in Los Angeles. So, Nick, some major developments tonight.
Yeah, there have been. Listen, Anderson, up until this point, the focus has really been on the west coast of this country. 20 confirmed cases here in California, 3 in Oregon, and 18 up there in Washington state. But just within the past hour, we have heard of 1 more case from Massachusetts, somebody who'd been on a school trip to Italy, and 2 more cases in Georgia. Those people, we're told, are being held in isolation in their home, while authorities try to make sure that they weren't in contact with other members of the community before their diagnosis. But you mentioned that White House task force this afternoon. The one message that came loud and clear out of that, Anderson, there will be more cases here in the United States.
And in New York. Trust me.
6 now dead in Washington state. 4 of them elderly residents of this nursing home near Seattle. At least 48 schools now closed across the state for deep cleaning, and a warning from the governor.
We think folks should begin to think about avoiding large events and assemblies.
Today, nationwide, we topped 100 known cases across 12 states. Known is the key word. There are likely many more.
Right now, today, on this day, Monday, if you look at the country as a whole, the risk is low.
But the virus is now spreading within American communities.
The degree of risk has the potential to change quickly.
Today, the first confirmed case in New York, the nation's most populous city.
There is no doubt that there will be more cases. This is New York.
It's going to explode. New York is going to be exploding with the viruses.
We'll ensure that anyone traveling on a direct flight to the United States of America receives multiple screenings at all airports in Italy and South Korea.
But of course, the virus is here already, and the enhanced testing that will be going on in the next week or 2 will help us define exactly the nature and extent of the problem that's here already.
Earlier in this outbreak, criticism, not enough test kits.
The guy from Natural Born Killers
is changing.
The estimates that we're getting from industry right now, by the end of this week, close to 1 million tests will be able to be performed.
But one growing concern, what to do with those who've tested positive or the potentially infected. Up in Seattle, the county is buying a motel to isolate them, and after that deadly outbreak at the nursing home.
And we have 2 police officers and 27 firefighters that are currently in quarantine because each of them responded to an incident at the Life Care Center in the past 2 weeks.
Tonight, the city of San Antonio suing the federal government after an evacuee from Wuhan, held in quarantine at a nearby base, was released and later tested positive. This judge just issued an emergency order.
Anyone coming out of there, which is 120 of them left, come out into the county, we will prohibit that, and the sheriff's office will detain them if that were to happen.
The plan going forward for the country:
prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
And a promise from the White House task force to keep us informed.
We'll be back here every day. Get used to seeing us.